Okay.
So today we're going to be working with graphing trigonomic functions. So we're going to start with our original trigonomic function, which is y equals d plus a sine of bx minus c. Our equation today is y equals negative 5 over 2 plus 3 sine 5x minus pi over 2. So we're going to start with our vertical shift. And how we get that is by looking for d. And d is equal to, in our equation, negative 5 over 2. Pretty simple, right? So next we're going to go on to our period. Our period is equal to 2 pi over b. And 2 pi over b, there it is. Just 2 pi over 3. And now we're going to go on to our amplitude. Our amplitude is equal to the absolute value of a. Absolute value of a is 3. And now we're going to go on to our maximum. To find our maximum, it's a plus the absolute value of b, which is equal to 3 plus 5 equals to 8. And now we're going to go over to our minimum. Our minimum is equal to a minus the absolute value of b, which is equal to 3 minus 5, which is equal to negative 2. Okay, so we're going to be graphing trigonomic functions. So we're going to start with our phase shift. And to find our phase shift, it is C over B. And that's equal to pi over 2 divided by 5 over 1 equal to pi over 2 times 1 over 5 equal to pi over 10. The reason what I did was you got to divide the reciprocal. You got to divide 5 over 1 and then you multiply by the reciprocal, which is the opposite, and you get pi over 10. And next is our interval. To find our interval, we're going to start with our equation. 0 is less than or equal to 5x minus pi over 2 is less than or equal to 2 pi. So first we're going to add 2 pi to both sides. We then get, we have to multiply by, we get pi over 2 is greater than or equal to, less than or equal to 5x, and 5x is greater than or equal to 5 pi over 2. So now we have to divide by 5. And basically, again, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 1 over 5. And we get pi over 10 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 5 pi over 10, or pi over 5. Next, we're going to find our critical points. And the way we do that is we take our interval, which is pi over 10, and we add pi over 10. And we get 3 pi over 10. and we add 3. That was wrong. We get pi over 5. And then we add pi again, pi over 10 again, and we get 3 pi over 10. And we're going to keep going and keep going until we have 5 critical points. So 3 pi over 10 plus pi over 10 we'll get 4 pi over 10. And we add pi over 10 again. We get 5 pi over 10, or pi over 5. And that is how you graph a trigonomic function. Okay, so now we're going to graph y equals negative 5 over 2 plus 3 sine of 5x minus pi over 2. And this is what your graph should look like.